If an irrigation zone won't turn on, one of the most useful things you can check is whether the valve makes any sound when it's supposed to activate. People often describe this as listening for a click or a hum. If you hear nothing at all, that's not a dead end, it's information. When a zone activates normally, the controller sends a signal to the valve's solenoid. That solenoid pulls a small internal pin, which allows water to flow and open the valve. That electrical action usually makes a quiet sound. So when there's no click and no hum, the system is telling you something about where the problem likely is and where it probably isn't. If there's no sound at the valve, the issue is usually not mechanical yet. Problems like debris in the valve, a stuck diaphragm, or internal wear usually show up after the valve opens, not before. Silence points earlier in the chain. When there's no click or hum, the issue is usually in one of three areas. First, the valve may not be receiving a signal at all. That could be a broken wire, a loose connection, or a failed splice underground. Second, the solenoid itself may be faulty. Even if power is present, a bad solenoid won't respond, and it won't make noise. Third, less commonly, the controller may not be sending power on that station. This is why checking other zones matters. If other zones activate normally, the controller is usually doing its job. At this point, it's very tempting to dig up the valve or replace it entirely. But if the issue is electrical, digging deeper or replacing the valve body doesn't help. It just creates more work and more uncertainty. Silence is a signal to pause, not escalate. The next step is to confirm whether the valve is receiving a signal when it's supposed to turn on. That can be done with simple checks, like listening carefully during manual activation, comparing behavior to a working zone, or checking connections at known access points. The goal isn't to fix anything yet. It's to confirm whether the problem is upstream or at the valve itself. If you're working through a zone that won't activate and you're not hearing any sound at the valve, the diagnostic guide linked below walks through the situation in a structured way. It helps narrow the issue without guessing or unnecessary digging. When a system is silent, it's often telling you where not to look yet. Diagnosis before replacement.